Do I get scared? 100%. Am I living in constant fear leading up to this mission? No, absolutely not.
We have a special guest today on Primetime Local News. Canadian astronaut Colonel Jeremy Hansen is with us today. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Well, let's chat about what you've been up to, because your life is much more exciting than mine. Tell me about what you've been doing as far as training for the upcoming Artemis II mission.
The crew is pretty deep into training. I just came to this interview from a sim. So sitting in what you would imagine a simulator for a capsule looks like, and you've got the displays and you're just going through different failures that we can come up against and understanding how we're going to deal with them. But I have to explain, we are just kind of building all of this as we go. So like we saw some procedures today for the first time. We're looking at them. We find some issues, workarounds, and then we redevelop, and then we'll run it again in the sim another day. And so it's just a lot of work between now and when we launch, in theory, in just over a year. But it's a lot of fun, and we're having a great time.
What has been the most surprising thing to you so far, Jeremy, with part of the training? Is there anything that's really kind of stood out as something that maybe you weren't expecting?
The training is, is not surprising to me. I think this idea that, we're doing it for the first time is maybe foreign to some people, that we don't have it all figured out and we're just training a crew the knowns. No, we're actually figuring it out how we're going to do it still. So that's pretty interesting when you look at it. The thing that's probably most surprising is just when you look at how many people are involved to go to the moon, just how complex it is. I don't think any of us think it's easy. But when you start to look at, I talk to new people every day, and I'm like, wow, you are really down into the weeds on all these little things. And I'm glad you're thinking about that, because that's really crazy that we have to kind of manage all of those tiny details. But it's really a huge challenge to go back to the moon. It brings out, what's really cool is it brings out the best in people. Like they're real problems that they're trying to figure out how to solve for the first time. Even though we got on the moon before, it's different this time. The way we're doing it, the architecture, the vehicles. And so it's really exciting to see people in their wheelhouse just solving tough problems.
Now, do you guys learn everybody's role, everybody on the crew who's going to be on the Artemis II mission, or do you just focus specifically on your own role?
Yeah, all four of the crew members are training in everything, is how we're managing this one. Since it's a test flight, we have our defined roles for launch and landing. So, Reed, with the commander, and Victor, the pilot, will be strapped into those seats for launch and landing. And they'll be controlling the vehicle through those phases of flight. But for the rest of the 9 days, which is the bulk of the mission, we'll just be sharing those duties. So I'll be kind of rotating through managing the vehicle, flying the vehicle. And so we're all training and then backing each other up for the launch and the entry as well.
I was looking on the vlogs on the Space Agency website, Jeremy, and I found it interesting that somebody had asked you the question, are you scared to go to space? And are you scared of what you might encounter? And can you tell me just a little bit about that question and then what your answer was? I found it so interesting.
So yeah, I get asked this a lot. Are you not scared? And I'm not scared at the moment. I know I'll have moments of fear, so I do get scared, of course. One of the things I learned, and it really got drilled into me in the military, actually, was how to sort of take fear as an indicator, but compartmentalize it or set it aside and work the problem. When you come to that realization that there aren't many problems that you can't make worse, and so if you really do want to survive in a really challenging situation, you have to think with clear mind. You have to just kind of not worry about the outcome, worry about the steps that you need to do, and just focus on them one at a time. And you hope at the end of it, you'll come out successful as a team. You'll survive, or you'll save the mission or the spacecraft, whatever it happens to be. And so just to sum that up, fear is an indicator. We all get it. It's like a smoke detector going off in your house, but you don't want fear driving the show, or you're in big trouble.
Now, as far as the training actually goes here, heading into the actual mission itself, Jeremy, are you guys on track, or is there a way to measure it, or do you just, keep going and then when you're ready, you're ready?
Yeah, I guess it's a bit of both. We set goals. Our launch date is the end of next year, and that is what the whole team is marching towards. And until we get to the point where we really understand why we can't make that date, we'll just hold that date. So we're all working towards the same goal, because it's a big team of people. Like companies and governments all have to be marching towards the same goal. But there's that element of what you said is we'll go when we're ready. And we know it's a test flight, and we have to do our best to buy down as many of the risks that we can. We'll still take some pretty big risks, but we want to buy down all the ones that we have identified, and we know a way to reasonably mitigate it. And if time is one of those buy down measures, then we'll of course adjust the timeline.
Jeremy, you have a lot of people around here that know you from your time at Four Wing Cold Lake and spending time in this area. We often get comments when we post your story saying, we're so excited to see the fact that Jeremy's on the Artemis II mission. And, young kids, we talked about this before, looking up to you. What do you say to them? Because I'm sure it must be some days even a little bit surreal for you to realize what you're going to be doing. So what do you say to them if they think, well, I'm not sure if I can do what Jeremy's going to be doing?
Yeah, that's the reality of it. The people that knew me in Cold Lake know that I'm just a regular human being. And it's really just knowing what I wanted to do and sharing that with other people. It created this path where people helped me overcome challenges, give me the experiences I needed to become an astronaut and prepare me for these challenges. And there's the other reality, there's just an element of luck involved. And so if Canada needed 1,000 astronauts, they'd find 1,000 astronauts, but we just haven't needed that many to date. So there's a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, but a whole lot of teamwork is what it really comes down to it when you reflect on it. I learned a lot in my time in Cold Lake and in the forces in general, and it's the people that have built the skill sets that I use every day today to join a big team now to go to the moon and come back. It's pretty phenomenal, but it's really just people making an active decision to work together to create solutions. I think this is one of the things that I think a lot about right now is when we all watch the news, we're a little bit disappointed in ourselves as humans. We're just not doing a great job on this planet overall. We could do better. And what I see happening, space program's not going to fix everything, but it is one example where we're setting these altruistic goals that bring people together to create solutions. And it's really magical to watch. And I often kind of remark, we're not going to fix everything, but at least we have all these great minds creating instead of destroying, and they're doing something positive. There will be ripple effects of these Artemis missions for decades to come, just like there were from the Apollo program. And I think that is a good reminder for all the people that watch this show that we just need to put our best foot forward in whatever tasks we have in front of us and try to make this world a better place.
Well, Jeremy, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for chatting with me, and we wish you the best for the holidays. Hopefully you get a little bit of a break over Christmas, and best wishes as the training continues.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Great to talk with you.